Okay, so today I plan on going over my Daniel Defense AR. I've had a few comments saying, don't paint it, don't paint it, it looks good. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go over it a little bit. We've got a little bit of a training to do this weekend in the woods, so it'll get worn off enough then it'll look pretty good in my opinion. So I just wanted to go over it a little bit with y'all, kind of how I paint my rifles. Y'all might do yours different, let me know down in the comments. This is the rifle we plan on painting today. I'm going to get started with taking off my optic. Don't want to get any unnecessary paint on it. Unload the rifle, of course. It's clear. I'm just going to give it a light dusting today. I'm not going to go too overboard with it. I just want to kind of get the high spots. We'll be doing some stuff in the woods, and I really don't want this black on here to really give it away too much, so we'll just get that out of the way. And I'm just using rustoleum paint, nothing special. Give it just a light dusting. That one looks a little boogered up. Let's see what we got here. Let's do a little taping before we get too carried away. Really don't want my trigger to be painted. It makes it really kind of crappy to play with, in my opinion. I'll put a little bit around the safety selector so it doesn't get all gummed up. Which, of course, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a basic AR, and it is clear. I'm going to tape over these pins. They kind of suck to get loose when they've been painted a lot. Get this side a little bit better too. This is probably this rifle's maybe third coat of paint. I'm gonna leave the stock collapsed all the way, because if you get too much paint in here, like I've had the problem with before, it gets a little gummed up. It makes it a little more difficult to maneuver, adjust, but that's pretty much where we'll go with the taping. I'm not gonna get too carried away with it. Said I'm just going to give it a light dusting of kind of a darker green, kind of what the foliage is this time of year here. I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. We're just trying to break up the hard lines of it. Nothing too crazy. All right. Now we'll set and let that dry for a minute. Okay, now that that's pretty dry, I mean, it's not completely dry as you can tell, but it's pretty well dry. I'm gonna touch up a couple other little spots on it here. If I can find my, there it is. Just gonna hit the high spots. Alright, now I'm going to go over it with a couple more colors. Here's kind of a lighter tan, maybe that. There we go. Just going to just hit it. Doesn't have to be anything over the top, just breaking up the pattern of it a little bit. Flip that over. Can I get it? Put a little bit of dark brown on it. Use a little bit. Just a light dusting, as you can tell. Just breaking up the outline of it. It doesn't have to be anything, once again, over the top. You can go as over the top as you want, or you can do as little as you want. Now you get this light just a little bit better. Get a little bit darker back in here. Just get it over the top there. A little bit. Put a little bit right in there. I don't like to get the butt pad very much, because if you get the butt pad, it really starts to kind of flake off, as you can see, and gum up, and I don't prefer that texture. But we'll let that dry out a little bit and see where we're at. All right, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of light green. This is army green. I'm going to put this leaf up here to kind of, once again, take off some of the hard lines that we may or may not have created. And, well, that's not doing very good. Just to kind of a little bit right in there. Probably could have used a little bit more shaking up, but get a little bit back. A little bit more tan here, just to kind of dust over it a little bit. Use this one. We'll just dust it over a little bit more with some more deep forest green. Just darken the whole thing up just a little. I didn't get any light green on that yet. Just give it a light green or tan dusting on it. Put that on the dark green. Now we let it dry. While it might not look the coolest, that's your finished product, and it'll help blend into the woods, and you don't have to worry about being spotted as much. Okay, that's the goal we're going with. It's not to look the prettiest, it's not to, you know, necessarily stand out. It's to just to get the job done, just to blend in. That's the whole goal of it. Some people think it looks pretty. I like it personally. I'll rock it, and that's where we are with it. While this isn't the setup that it's going to be utilized in, or the capacity it's going to be utilized in, I just figured I'd get a couple shots of the finished product. Let's see here. That's pretty much the way I've always painted my rifles. I always will paint my rifles, I guess, unless somebody has a better opinion on it or a better way to do it. That's how I'm going to keep doing it.